you're new to the channel, please like and subscribe. If you guys enjoy my content, comment down below some more video recommendations. With that being said, I would like to make a few announcements. For one, the 5K subscriber special is still coming out. Trust me, I'm not just gonna throw you guys out the way like that. But like, as y'all know, I don't normally write scripts for my videos because for the most part, I can do these videos off the top of my head off just a basic thought of it alone. Normally, I'll think about it for about a week and then I'll be able to do it just like that. So, writing a script is not easy. Originally, I had actually recorded the 5K subscriber special a few months ago, and well, looking back on it, I did not like the video. And since I didn't like it, there was too many flaws, I went ahead on and I deleted the original draft. Which means that now I'm going to be actually writing the video, which is going to take a hot while, okay? The video likely will not be that long, around an hour to 50 minutes. Probably, somehow it might be like 2 hours, probably. But typically when I actually write scripts for the videos, they always end up being much shorter than expected, but hey, it's whatever. Now, with that being said, this story starts off with the Quirk doctor, as Izuku could be seen getting his quirk examined. The doctor looks towards Izuku, very, very intrigued. Mrs. Midoriya, Izuku here seems to have a very unique hardening quirk. Inko looks forward with a smile on her face, looking towards her baby boy. She would smile uncontrollably. The doctor would say, Izuku has the ability to harden his skin into stone, which makes his body almost entirely intangible. Well, almost entirely, indestructible. Now, from what we can see, there are several things as of now that can harm Izuku. But from what we know, the more and more he uses quirk, the stronger and stronger it will get. So, training would be wise. From what we can tell right now, a young Izuku has the ability to tank a hit from a speeding train as of now, without any actual harm being done to him. From what we can tell, Izuku has the ability to harden things outside of his body. So, weaponry, materials, let's say Izuku were to master ninja star throwing. He would be able to not only throw ninja stars with extreme force and speed due to his hardening, enhancing his strength and speed by a bit. I'd say his strength becomes on around the level of Captain America, allowing him to easily throw, pick up, and punch straight through cars. And his, intelligence, that's all up to Izuku. From what we can see, hardened outside of his body, so that means weaponry. He can slightly shape the hardening spots of his body, but he cannot fully make constructs. From what we know is he can, let's say he balls up his fist and he hardens them. From his knuckles, he can probably spawn in little spikes, or from his shoulders and his bodies. But for now, that's all he can really do. Inko looks towards Izuku with a smile on her face, as Deku has an uncontrollable smile. The brown-haired boy could be seen looking forward. He's going to be the next #1 pro hero with this quirk. And Inko would wonder, could he really be the #1 hero with the quirk like that? He just looks at, she just looks at him, thinking to herself that she honestly, genuinely just doesn't believe in him. She doesn't say it out loud. As they go home, Inko would look at Izuku. She'd make a call to his father. She'd explain everything about the quirk, and Inko would say that she just isn't too sure. A quirk like that isn't too flashy. It isn't too powerful. It's honestly kind of basic. Little does Inko know, a young Izuku was outside the room, about to enter and ask his mom to help him fix his food, but he overhears the entire conversation. And the next day at school, Izuku was completely silent. As everyone showed off their quirks, Izuku didn't show off his at all. It was heartbreaking. He was in nothing more but pain. It felt horrible to know that your own mother just thought that your power, your gift from God, was basic trash. Inko really didn't think he could be a hero with a quirk like this. Even though currently Izuku's most definitely the strongest in his class by far, Izuku just never shows it off. The only person he ever showed his quirk to was his best friend Bakugo, who Bakugo called his quirk awesome. Bakugo made Izuku, believe that he was just lying to him. He thought Bakugo was lying because, there's no way a quirk like his is actually worth it. From here, years will go on, and Izuku would train his quirk in secret every single day. Because the only thought that's in his mind is that he's going to prove everyone wrong. His quirk isn't weak. His quirk isn't boring. His quirk isn't some lame shit. Every day Izuku would train. He would train harder and harder and harder. Push-ups, sit-ups, wall sits, punching the trees like it's a freaking piece of paper. Every single day, Izuku trained his ass off. He worked his ass off because he has a point to prove. He wasn't aiming for anything else. He was aiming to shut everyone up. He was aiming to even shut his own mother up. After all, she thought his quirk was basic, and he refuses to have a basic quirk in anyone's eyes. Every day, he would train, until we time skip on over towards the start of the original anime. At this point in time, Izuku has learned several unique things. As we all know, Izuku's a quirk genius, so Izuku's learned a lot. Basically, what he's learned is, Izuku learns that if he were to, let's say he bite his nails, right? Before he enters his hardening form, with a wave of his hand, he can send those hardened nails flying like shards. And those shards can sling through steel. Every day, Izuku would learn more and more things he can do. He now learns that he can harden his blood into a blood armor. He can harden his bones in order to increase his bone density temporarily. He can harden his hair just to literally run at someone and stab them. He can even harden his eyes, which doesn't really do anything except harden his eyes. He can harden his ears. He can harden any part of his body he would like. Hardening his teeth, allowing him to chew through things. Hardening his entire internal organs, allowing him to process things better. Which makes Izuku be able to eat and tank almost anything. He learned he can harden wounds and forcibly hold them together. Basically, he's not healing himself. He's just keeping the wounds closed by forcibly hardening himself. He learned several things with his quirk. He learned now that he can slightly curve anything he creates from his body. But about now, that's about it. So, we time skip on over towards the teacher, well, pretty much walking into the classroom. I would hand out these career aptitude tests, but I know you all want to be heroes! The teacher would throw the papers into the air, where from there, the teacher would look towards them. He then would say, it seems that we have 2 students going towards UA. Mr. Izuku Midoriya and Katsuki Bakugo. The entire class would look around. They looked towards Deku in particular. All of them would tilt their heads. They didn't say, Izuku, we know you have a quirk because we seen your hands sometimes be randomly covered in stone, but like, dude, I don't know how to say this, but like, what the fuck even is your quirk? It seems like it's kind of ass, if I'm being honest with you, Izuku. I'm not trying to be mean, but like, it's kind of ass off just what I seen alone. But who knows? Maybe I could be wrong. Everyone in the class begins to agree what NPC 1222227 said, and Izuku just sits there like, well, NPC 1112227. My quirk is a hardening quirk. It allows me to turn my body into armor. It also allows me to harden individual parts of my body and internal organs. He then proceeds to enter his hardening form. The kid then says, okay, that's cool and all, but like, do you have super strength? Yes. To what degree? Probably Captain America. Yeah, it's not too cool. Alright, super speed? Black Panther level? No. I don't know. I mean, so far you seem kind of trash. I mean, that's just my opinion. You seem kind of ass. Izuku says, okay, well, you fight me then. And quickly, bro goes silent. Yeah, exactly. Izuku would say. He then would say, okay, well, durability-wise, he then would straight up say the Hulk. Almost nothing can actually hurt Izuku. And Izuku is a bit crazy. What he would do is, he would get a group of his friends, and 3 of his friends, individually, their quirks are trashed. Combined together, it creates one singular overpowered quirk. The 3 of them would use their quirks together, and they would help Izuku train via them going into abandoned train tracks with like abandoned trains and stuff, right? Because those are a thing, and they would like control those trains with all 3 of them using their quirks. What quirks? I don't know. Use your own imagination. I don't fucking know. I can't think of no shit like that. But they all use like their quirks together, right? And every day they would train, hitting Izuku harder and harder and harder and harder with freaking trains. From here, we do a time skip on over towards the end of the day, and Izuku is walking home. Now, as he walks home, just like in the original timeline, the Sludge will pop out. Hey, kid. I need your body. I didn't know that freak was in town. Izuku looks forward. confused. As Izuku says, "No one, you're not getting my body." The Sludge Villain looks at him. I didn't say it was, I didn't ask. Give me your body! As the Sludge Villain would rush forward towards Izuku, Izuku would immediately ball up his fist and instantly harden his body. Immediately he hardens his body and closes off pretty much any entrance the Sludge Villain can find, which will lead to the Sludge Villain not being able to enter Izuku's body. With Izuku being hardened, there's almost no way for him to get inside. The Sludge Villain will continue to try finding any crack to slip through, but it's like his entire body is just covered in his armor. His ears covered in it, his eyes covered in it, his nose covered in it, his mouth covered in it. The Sludge Villain literally can't get through, which will lead to the Sludge Villain struggling and struggling and struggling until eventually, I am here! All Might would hit his signature, Detroit Smash! And from there, he would blow the Sludge Villain apart, which of course would lead to Izuku within the center to be, well, standing there. As from here, him and All Might would have the same conversation they would in the original timeline. I can actually see this version of Izuku still jumping onto All Might's leg, and I can see him asking him instead, with a quirk like his, a basic hardening quirk, do he think he could actually be a hero? Everyone tells him that it's not flashy, it's boring, it's trash. And he just wants to he wants to actually be a hero. And he wants to be one that shine like All Might. All Might would breathe in, and then he would breathe out. He looks at Izuku, and he tells him simply, Izuku, anyone can be a hero. No matter their quirk, a hero is within the heart. If you are willing to save lives, then so be it. All Might looks towards him and tells him that he fully believes in Izuku. Even with a quirk like his, quirk like that, I mean, look at Red Riot. Izuku's quirk, from what he hears, is actually better than Red Riot's, and he's a top 15 pro hero. From here, All Might and Izuku would kind of stand there in silence for just a mince moment until they would hear kaboom! Explosions going off within a distance, which will lead to Izuku and All Might both turning immediately. Bakugo. Deku would immediately think, it has to be Bakugo. It has to be him. Who else would that be? He looks and notices that He notices that the bottle with the Sludge was on is gone. And Izuku would instantly harden and he just jumps straight off the roof. Immediately, Izuku takes off running. He would run at his full speed. Running at full speed, he would eventually run across. Y'all already know what I'm about to do. He would run. Y'all don't know what I'm about to do. Oh yeah, he would run across the Sludge Villain. Now, with the Sludge Villain being on the scene, Izuku would instantly bite his nails as he rushes forward, running through the crowd, knocking everyone out of the way. He looks forward and he sees Bakugo. Deku and yell, "Gachan!" as he would rush forward, and immediately he flings his nails towards the Sludge Villain. The Sludge Villain sees the little stones rushing at it as he dodges out of the way. Izuku would bite his nails once more, as from here he would jump into the air and swipe at the Sludge Villain's eye, actually slicing the Sludge Villain's right eye clean open, causing the Sludge Villain to start struggling to keep its form together. The Sludge Villain begins to get destabilized as from here Izuku rushes back forward, but the Sludge Villain will smack him away with a massive sludge hand that slams Izuku up against the wall. Whereas from here, Izuku begins to breathe heavily. His back is quite literally forced against the wall. Izuku begins to breathe up and down. He gets upwards. From here, again, biting his nails, he would flick forward one nail. As he flicks forward one, the Sludge Villain would quickly dodge out of the way, but Izuku goes full speed, rushes behind the Sludge Villain, jumps upwards, and slams his fist right through the Sludge Villain's whole freaking face. But the Sludge Villain already being destabilized, he winds up completely falling apart after not being able to keep his form. Whereas from here, All Might would buff up, and the second he buffs up, he would blitz the Sludge Villain and collect them into a bottle. From here, we'll do a time skip on over towards the 10 months of training, which yes, Izuku will get one for all in this timeline. Now, due to his quirk, he's going to be physically built, but I'm not going to make him be able to handle like anything crazy. He's going to be able to handle, I'm going to say, 30% one for all, which I think a 30%, man, low key, if a 15% one for all Deku can keep up with like season 1 Bakugo, Todoroki them, I just feel like I'm going to give him 15% one for all base form. Hardened bones specifically. When Izuku hardens his bones, he'll be able to handle one for all at 30%. when he enters his full hardening form, he'll be able to handle it at 20%. Now, the reasoning behind it, the full hardening form is just protecting his skin, okay? It's protecting his skin and his internal organs. It's not hardening his bones to, like, you know, protect them. It's literally just a big-ass armor. So, yeah. Anyways, that's basically how it's going to work until, I don't know, maybe I'll get a Quirk awakening that I'll think is cool. Anyways, with that being said, we cut on over towards the UA entrance exams, where there you will see Izuku entering into the building. Now, he would not bump into Ochako in this timeline, simply because Izuku just isn't really that nervous. He has confidence within himself. He's just a bit self-conscious. Izuku believes that maybe, just maybe, his quirk really isn't worth it. Maybe his quirk really is just trash. But, for the most part, he believes in himself, and he believes that he really does have a decent quirk. And if anyone tells him otherwise, then, well, they're just a fucking hater. He believes in himself. Worse from here, we will cut on over towards him, walking into the UA entrance exams. Now, the test will begin. I do not see this version of Deku muttering, because, well, he's just not a mutterer in this timeline. It just doesn't make any sense for this version of Deku to be muttering, because he's pretty confident within himself. Yes, he's self-conscious. I mean, he's a human being, and he has feelings, okay? He's going to be a little self-conscious when people are constantly telling him his quirk is trash his entire life. But he's more confident now because not only does he have his own quirk, he also has One For All stacked on top of it. Now, those you guys, obviously, I know about the One For All effect and what it does to quirks, but if you're new to the channel, I just delete that. Like, straight up, I just delete it because there's no point in me, you know, doing that. So, with that being said, we time skip. The gates would open, and as soon as the gates open up, Izuku would charge One For All, and he would blitz in. Using his own pure physical strength and speed, he was already around Black Panther to Captain America levels of speed, which is legitimately in the comics like hella crazy. Like, at least, they're pretty crazy fast, and Black Panther especially. Like, was already that fast, base speed alone. One For All on top of that, simple turns. Man's blitzes forward. The first robot that he sees, which will be a 1-pointer. He jumps upwards into your spins and kicks that bitch smooth in half. From here, he would land, rushing forward towards the next robot, which will be a 2-pointer. Jumping upward, he would hit it with a Texas smash, punching right through it. Going off on over towards the next robot, a 3-pointer. He rushes forward, jumps, consecutive blows. Mink, 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 mink. Punches it 3 times, punches it in the head, destroys it. From here, he would go land on towards the next robot. Rushing forward, now he will harden his hand the same way Kirishima does it, like when he hardens his hand, like all 5 fingers like going outward. Hardens, jump, slices in half. Another robot, slice, another robot, punch. Mink, 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 mink. Simply terms, he beat the fuck out of every robot there. Now, with that being said, after he destroys literally every single robot there, not every robot, but a lot of robots there, the 0-pointer would arrive. Everyone begins to scream and panic, and they all begins to run away, including Izuku. Izuku legit starts running until he hears the scream of help, still going to be from Ochako. Izuku would rush forward towards Ochako. As he rushes forward towards her, he instantly hardens his entire body and charges One For All throughout himself. As he does this, he would completely cover Ochako as the 0-pointer would stomp down on them. Izuku was not even certain if he was strong enough to actually handle this. But, unbeknownst to Izuku, One For All actually does do something within his hardened form. It sharpens it, okay? To an insane degree. So he didn't survive the 0-pointer because he was more durable. He survived the 0-pointer because he sliced right through it. Now, he was literally inside the 0-pointer circuit. And he starts punching that bitch from the inside out over and over and over and over because the people in UA freaked out because they think they killed him. He punches it over and over and over and over until he walks out holding Ochako. All Might would let out a breath of relief. Whoo! All the teachers, whoo! Principal Nezu, I want some cheese. Everybody else, whoo! Happy, ecstatic that Izuku is not dead. Principal Nezu was the only one that knew. Yeah, he's not dead. Everybody else horrified. They thought they just watched the kid die. Alright, so from here, well, we time skip on over towards the first day. Now, Izuku will make it into class on the very first day. As soon as he enters into the classroom, he would see Ida and Bakugo arguing. And I mean, like, they are like arguing. And Izuku just looks at Bakugo. He tells him, Kachan, bro, for the love of all things that is holy and divine in this world, please shut the fuck up. And he's just like, bro. Bakugo's like, dude, what did I do? Deku's like, just bro. That guy clearly has a stick up his ass. He's gonna be a bitch. Let him be a bitch. And Bakugo's like, you know what? You're right. He's gonna be a bitch. I'm gonna let him be a bitch. Good. Thank you. From here, they would walk off. Now, as they walk off, Bakugo looks towards him. No, seriously though? If that guy talks... Wait, what am I talking about? They don't walk off. Crap, I'm sorry. Shit! I'm gonna have to cut that out. Alright. Hopefully I can actually cut that out. Anyways though, you time skip. Now, they're in the locker room, and as they're changing into clothes, Mineta would still go in and do his classic peak moment. Izuku grabs this man by the skull, and he tells him, close your eyes. He didn't want to say, now, if I could, I would harden your eyelids shut, not letting you close your eyes. Luckily, I could only harden inanimate objects outside of my body. But, if you look through that fucking hole, I promise you, your hole is gonna be widened. Everyone in the room, nigga, pause! Deku's like, oh shit. I mean, if you look through that hole in that wall, there's gonna be a hole through you. Why did the sus threat sound more threatening? Kaminari would say. It says probably because it was sus. Bakugo would say, gay ass. Deku says, I didn't mean it like that. Well, it came out like that. And apparently, so did you. Deku just stares this man down, and Bakugo will stare right back at him. Two of them staring, like, just staring at each other. And Mina's like, but heaven. Anyways, now, Izuku the ball winds up being thrown towards him. Now, Aizawa tells him to get the ball as far as he can. Now, Izuku will harden his bones. Now, I have to remind something real quick. He cannot harden his bones or his internal organs for long, okay? It's much harder to keep the armor on the inside, okay? So yeah, he can't harden it for long. But he's able to wall back his hand, throw, and boom! 100% one for all Deku within his finger. Got like a 700 something score or 800, I don't fucking know. This version of Deku with 30% in his full arm is gonna get around few thousand, I don't know or care. From here, he would ace and destroy every single portion of this test. Everything that he do in this test, Izuku would absolutely freaking dominate by far. With that being said, this is where I'm going to be ending off this part. Comment down below if you guys have some video recommendations and all that good little stuff. I do not know how long this video is, so please don't get mad at me if it's not as long as you guys want it.